How's the health of the squad going into the Woking game then?
As you can imagine, Liam, we had 2 injuries very early in the game to Asante and obviously Manuel Yannichi, that's now out for the season. So it's been stop-start, it's disappointing. Obviously it was a disappointing trip home. There's a lot of pain, as you can imagine, and that's quite natural. If you play like that in front of such a good travelling support, there's got to be pain. And the squad have felt that pain. But there's only so long, Liam, that you can feel pain. Eventually we've got to come out and show another side to our performances that we haven't showed in the last month, that's for sure.
What's the situation with Oyeleki then? Is it his calf again?
No, he's got a knee problem at the minute. He's seen a specialist this week and he's likely not to play again this season, which is really disappointing for the lad because it's very much stop-start. It's in you go and out you come. You know, at the minute my thoughts are totally with the lad because he's a good young man. He wants to play for the club and he wants to do well. Unfortunately, at the minute, his body's not allowing him to do that, Liam.
Is there any chance that Kabongo Shimanga could be involved this weekend?
No, absolutely no chance, Liam. You know, he will not make the playoffs at all. You know, he's back on the grass and he's training, but we're in no position at all to want to risk him or feel the need to risk him.
So that's 100% his season is done?
I would suggest so, Liam, yeah.
I think Kwasi Asante came off with a bit of a niggle as well. How's he doing?
Hamstring problem. He still hasn't trained this week, so the likelihood is he will have no involvement in the game on Sunday as well.
Potentially going forward if you make the playoffs, maybe?
Yeah, 100%. But at the minute, Liam, we just want to concentrate on Sunday's game. We all know the disappointment around last Saturday's performance. We know what it means to our supporters in no uncertain terms. And we know the importance of this Sunday. As we've seen with the attendance figures, our supporters will turn out in unbelievable numbers again to show the players the passion they've got for trying to be promoted and the energy they want to give it. You know, we need to give the supporters something back to feed off because at the minute what we're giving them is nowhere near enough.
Has there been some positives on trying to get some training minutes into the players this week?
Again, Liam, it's whatever I say. I won't appease our supporters. I think sometimes as a manager you want to say all the right things so the supporters can sort of feel hope. I think from our supporters who genuinely do know me and they know my character, you know, some of the performances we've seen are very much not akin to how I like the game to be played. So going forward for me and the players, we need to put performances in that the supporters can relate to. The first thing we have to do in games is fight and run. Some qualities that don't cost a lot. But unfortunately at the minute we are lacking in some games.
Are you confident that you'll get that performance on Sunday then?
No, not in any uncertain terms, no. I said after the Notts County game, I'm struggling to trust this group of players. As I speak today, I've seen nothing to say that I can trust them now. So Sunday's performance will be a big indicator as to where we're at. The lads are training very hard. They're working hard on the training ground. And what they have to do is take the training ground work onto the pitch on Sunday. If they can replicate what they're doing on the training ground into Sunday's game, I think we can be fine. But at the minute, I am not convinced or sure that they'll do that. So by 5 o'clock on Sunday night, Liam, I'll be able to speak to you and tell you exactly what we've just watched.
Are you still searching for that formation, that lineup that you've mentioned a few times?
I think so, Liam. I think so. If you watch us last Sunday, concede very easy and don't look like scoring. So when you've got problems at both ends of the pitch, you're normally in trouble. For us as a group that's had such a strong early season, obviously the injuries that everyone's well documented. We've had disruptions weekly in terms of lads' injuries during games. I've never been at a club where so many players come off at half time in my whole life. But it's something that I have to live with at the minute and deal with. And being in the game quite long probably helps me deal with that situation. For me, the most important thing is winning on Sunday. Is giving our supporters something to leave the stadium with that they can believe in that could take us into the playoffs with optimism. At the minute, there's not too much of that about. But all I will do, as our supporters know, will be making sure I cover every blade of grass in pursuit of getting that right.
Will you be monitoring what's happening at Dagenham and Wrexham?
No interest whatsoever, Liam. None. We've got a job to do ourselves. We just get on with it. As I say, at the minute, if you actually watch us, we don't look like a team that deserves to be in the playoffs. So probably the worst scenario for me would be getting beat on Saturday, Sunday, and getting in the playoffs. I couldn't think of nothing worse. It'd probably make me physically sick, if I be honest with you. So the reality is we need to see a strong performance and a good home win. That's what we need to see that can take us into the playoffs then, feeling like we've earned the right.
And things can change quickly, can't they? A win on Sunday and you go into the playoffs with a little bit of momentum. How important is that?
You can't ask them optimistic questions, Liam, come on. Let's stick on the negative ones, please. Fans don't want to see optimism and hope. They want to see negativity and broadcasters asking questions and feeling tough because they've asked all them questions. The reality is we've been very, very poor over the last few weeks. You don't have to tell anyone 100 times that. What we've got to believe is on Sunday we're going to turn a page.
What are you expecting from Woking?
Again, a very well organised team, got some good players, some good threats. All the teams in the league now are very, very, very well managed. The standard of coaching, as I said, has improved no end. The players in the league are a lot fitter. They're a lot more hungry. And Woking, like everybody else, will come here to a lovely stadium, a packed crowd, big atmosphere, and obviously want to do well. So we've got to make sure we control everything that we do. We need to put in a performance that makes our supporters proud, that's for sure.
Thanks for your time, Paul.
No problem,
Good
Liam.
luck on Sunday.
Thanks, mate.
Morning, Paul.
Morning, Charlie, okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. How are you?
Good, mate, good.
Good. You mentioned earlier about putting a smile on fans' faces. I come across some pictures the other day of Tom Whelan, Calvin Miller, Jeff King, and Danny Rowe with a young fan playing football. And I see on the fans how much it meant to him. I just thought you could share some of your thoughts on that and what the character that shows of some of them players.
Listen, it's hard for me to say. There's a lot of good people in our football club in terms of the players and the squad. You know, at the minute we haven't managed to get the results right in terms of performances and result. We hiccup our way through most games. We don't win games at all convincingly. Under my tenure, we've only ever won by an odd goal. So it's been very, very tough over the last 3 months for everyone. But certainly there's no question about the lads' commitment or desire to the community, to the football club, to being good lads. They're a really nice set of lads, probably too nice at times to their own detriment. But stuff like that is really, really good. Not publicity, because that's the wrong word. What we should be doing within our own community at Chesterfield is being that open to our supporters and our fans, and more importantly to the younger ones. We all know how much football means to every football supporter in the country. So the players like the lads you've mentioned there, they're all good lads. They're really good lads and they're very committed to everything they do.
Obviously a win or a draw will secure a playoff place on Sunday. What would it mean to yourself and the lads to get Chesterfield FC promoted this season?
I think it means everything. I think, you know, Charlie, from obviously my time here last time to where we are today seems polar apart. Do you know, the club's gone through really in different years. I think the last 12 months, not the last 3 months probably under my tenure have been very painful. Previously to that, the club was in a great position, a great league position, but previous years to that it had been really poor. So our supporters are probably ingrained in problems at the minute. You know, so the reality for us, we still have a great opportunity to make them happy. A really, really big one. But to do that, we must first of all go into Sunday's game and play a little bit like we haven't played before, very well for long periods. That way then the supporters can join the players in making the atmosphere better. We have to score goals, Charlie. I've never had teams that don't score goals. I've never had a lack of creative chances. You know, so on Sunday, as you can imagine, I don't think we'll be defending our box for long periods, Charlie. I'd rather us score some goals and get our supporters happy. Because like the majority of our supporters, I fell asleep last week at Torquay.
Obviously, Woking not too much to play for. How do you see that? Is that a good thing, a bad thing in them sort of terms when it comes to the end of the season? Without
being disrespectful, Charlie, my thoughts are not on Woking or anything about Woking. It's getting a performance out of our team. All the teams in this level offer a threat. Charlie, our last win here was against Dover and we were getting beat 2-1 after 84 minutes. So the opposition is not irrelevant being disrespectful. But the most important thing is me getting our team right and getting a performance out of our team that our fans can relate to.